Okay, we are here in Washington. One of the first things George Bush said when he got in there is he wanted to limit the number of abortions, so he has passed out condoms to Congress. I kid. Now, I don't know if this is because of... Thank you. Because of that, but Virginia, which is a very conservative state, is considering now a law where there'd be a 24-hour waiting period after a woman saw her doctor. And not only that, they would make her look at pictures of fetal development.
Well, as a registered nurse, I should remind you all that any time we perform a medical procedure, let alone a surgical procedure, we have to have an informed consent. And as a feminist, my hope is to empower women by giving you information. It's called your right to know. So you have a right to know about the consequences. Excuse me just a minute.
Yeah.
You have a right to know about the risks, the consequences, and the complications of this surgical procedure, let alone the alternatives, which would be adoption.
Okay.
But you have to have information, you have to have time, because this is a life-threatening...
Well, can I just say this, as a woman, as a United States Senator, as a mother and a grandmother, and the mother of a daughter, I think this is the biggest insult to women that you could ever find. The idea that a woman needs the government to tell her how many hours she has to think about something as crucial as this decision, as private as this decision, as difficult as this decision, in other words, assuming that she hasn't even thought about it, that she hasn't thought about it. It gets me so upset at the big man of big government. And Bill, what amazes me about these Republicans is they all say, let government get off your back, but they want to be in your private life.
Well, Barbara,
I find it interesting also as a mother of two teenage girls. Why liberals who say they want government off their backs too, why are they so in favor of waiting periods for gun purchases, for example? I happen to be in favor of waiting periods for gun purchases, but isn't that an insult to everyone who wants to buy a gun? Also, let me tell you that there are... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, do you know that if you sign a contract in many states to purchase a car, in many states it is a law that you have so many hours to back out of it. Do you know that if you sign up for the armed forces, you have certain periods of time to back out of the contract?
You go to a car dealership, you're saying that an abortion, that is not as an important a decision as purchasing a gun, as purchasing a car, or as joining the army.
Somehow life is incredibly precious, except when the argument comes up and you have to make an analogy, and then it's a car, it's a gun, it's a bicycle, it's a fish, you know, I mean... What happened to life being so individual and precious and unlike anything else in the world?
I think that's what's driving this legislation.
I mean, talk about shooting a gun, all right? This applies only, do you notice, to one procedure and only to women. Why don't men have to wait 24 hours before they can get a Viagra pill and use it?
Well, let me tell you, because genetically we're talking about, a taking of a human life that's already been formed.
I don't know if you're
talking about the sanctity of a human life that's already been formed, whether you want to agree that it's a human life or not. I know that it's safer for you to think that it's just a piece of trash. But by the way, it's a life, it's a beating heart. Well, that's an insult.
I want to follow your logic and point out that you're not starting early enough. You have to start at the moment of conception. So you have to say, I want to have sex. No, you can't. You have to wait 24 hours. I'm going to show you.
And following that, why is it...
No sex. So you wait. 24 hours waiting period for marriages. The new law.
Wait a minute.
Why do we allow individuals who are in love? Why do we have waiting periods for marriage licenses?
I'm for a waiting period for sex. You got it.
You've got a waiting period for marriage license. Same thing.
Bill.
Naomi Judd. The floor recognizes Naomi Judd.
First of all, I've been there. I worked labor and delivery, and I'm an RN. You look better in person, by the way, than you do on C-SPAN.
And by the way, it's CNN.
People are always telling me I look better in person than I do on TV. I'm just saying because you're all career politicians, you look better on TV.
A little Bush charm offensive.
It works.
And it's working on Bill. I'm very worried about it.
This is the deal. Anytime that I find a woman in crisis, she needs information because that's always going to be your most valuable tool in dealing with any reality, and she needs time.
Yeah,
if I've got the flu, I don't make any important decisions. Okay. Now, over here, this is a life and death decision.
It's a gun, it's a fish, it's the flu.
The flu?
I'm saying you need time, and I'm saying that you have to arm yourself with information.
But there is no other surgical
let me talk
procedure.
about.
Now you have to wait 24 hours before you take a flu pill?
Let me tell you that the guy who devised the procedure of abortion, his name is Dr. Bernard Nathanson. He was a scientist, and after he realized what he had done, when he was shown the first ultrasound, and he said, "Oh my God in heaven, this is a living human being in its mother's womb," and he wept. And he was devastated at what he had done. It's kind of like the guy that invented the bomb. The ultrasound is now a very valuable tool in helping women understand their biology. It's all valuable information that we have to have.
Okay.
But women are not
a
stupid.
woman.
Yeah.
It literally gives you the whole picture.
Your assumption is
Unintended.
that women are stupid, and the state of Virginia, or the state of Florida, or the U.S. government, Jesse Helms and me and whoever else is in the Senate, is going to tell a woman, you're too dumb to make this decision. You better wait, and you better let the thought police come and talk to you.
Well, they weren't very smart to get pregnant in the first place.
I trust the women.
Well, now I'm insulted. All right, I got to take a break. You're the bomb.
Tomorrow, when our guest will be actor and comedian Richard Belzer, Wisconsin Senator Russ Feingold, former presidential candidate Gary Bauer, and North Carolina Representative Sue Myrick.
All right, we got about 3 minutes. I want you to tell your stripper story, because we have something in common. We both this year have frog-marched someone out of a public place. I'll start it for you. You're in a restaurant, and at the next table...
Larry and I had just had a romantic evening. We had just finished dinner. I'm walking back to the restroom. He's waiting for the check. And literally, as I'm walking along, and this is in a family restaurant at the dinner hour, I mean, at 6:15 p.m., lots of families everywhere. It's packed. We go there twice a week. There's a guy. Maybe you can simulate this on Barbara.
Oh, never mind.
There's a guy.
A male stripper,
There's
this
a naked man.
So somebody hired a male stripper
The
in a...
girl's parents did it. This teenage girl.
Okay.
This
I think
guy
she gets
is
the idea.
absolutely naked.
Okay.
This was not part of the deal.
Barbara, I said I'd protect you.
This guy is naked, and well, he's wearing a Speedo, but I think he's completely naked. He's straddling this little girl.
Will you change?
They are. They're bumping ugly.
Okay.
I mean, they're simulating intercourse.
We know what a stripper is. We don't have to, you know.
Now, the question is,
we didn't have to,
what was the problem?
Have you ever heard the saying?
Apparently, you haven't seen the guys at Miami Beach on Speedos. There's side.
No, I want to just say it could have been worse. It could have been a cell phone going off.
Well,
it could have been somebody smoking.
This guy was simulating intercourse. I'm serious. Their pelvises were touching, and I mean, people were trying to eat. You know? Wow. Whatever happened to no shoes, no shirt, no service?
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
I had no choice.
And when I
had no choice.
I think he went to the wrong place. You know, by mistake.
Yeah, I
what is
agree.
amazing
There was something that you would see in a stripper.
Wait, this is the girl's 18th birthday or something like that? And the parents bought the stripper.
Yes, and the mother
the
was
girl?
standing there clapping and applauding while the man was simulating intercourse. A strange man was simulating intercourse on this little girl.
And did you
But
complain to the
here's the good news.
Don't come over here anymore.
I'm not going to.
No. I'm scared of her.
I agree.
Here is the good news.
Strap you down.
Yeah. The good news is this would never have happened in the state of Virginia because they would have had to made her wait 24 hours.
That's take another commercial.
If you're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 323-575-4321.
All right, Naomi, thank you for that story. Do you want to?
Well, I was just saying, Barbara and I obviously have very different core values,
Hurry up.
but I think we do have something in common. I want to go see the vagina monologues. You want to go with me?
Tomorrow, Richard Bell.